maybe just a little bit of company, or maybe I'll teach you something. Hi, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Unfortunately, it looks like my mouse is not doing that well. Okay, we'll see. We'll see about that. Okay, there we go. A little better. Little bit better. Good evening. Hello. Good evening. Hello. Huh. Well, yeah. We're finally here. Sounds fun, ain't it? As you might have noticed, unlike other people, we don't really have a starting soon screen just yet, so, we're just gonna have to, well, what better way to introduce someone, right? So, hi, I'm 𝐒𝐿𝐴. I'm an illustrator, and, now I'm a radio host as well, it looks like. Also, you can just call me I guess, for now. Today, I thought we could just start with some sketching, and maybe some rendering, and we can play around and see from there. Let's go over here. Hey. Let's see. Oh, I'm now realizing that there's a very big delay, and I did not notice that. But we'll take it. I thought that I wanted to play around with a concept like this for a starting soon screen, so what better than now, right? Let's see. I also realize I am not able to see the chat that well. That's unfortunate. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, I realized. I can hear myself. This really is going places I was not hoping for. Oh well. Can you guys see everything well? Hopefully. I guess I'll just start yapping, really. Let's see. This is not a great first impression, but we'll play around. We'll see. It's been a while since I got the chance to work with a good composition. I feel like I've only been working on panels lately. Eyelashes. I've been thinking, a good composition. Yeah, it's kind of funny because everybody is like, oh wow, I really like your compositions. And, why do I say everyone? There hasn't been that many people. But I feel like people have been like, oh yeah, I really like the way that you do compositions, and I'm like, I do what? People think I can do composition? Wow, really? I'm kidding. To an extent. Actually, for a really long time, I was really, how do I put it, uncomfortable? Maybe I wasn't very confident in my compositions, but then, putting in the effort to give it a bit more studying from other illustrators and the like, and not to mention fine art as well, I actually am a really, really big fan of, what's a composition that I want to talk about? a really big focus on lighting, maybe? Maybe that's what I really want to think about. Especially in the future. God, my attention is shot. I'm not thinking at all right now. Oh well. We'll play around and see. We'll see. I think that one of my first compositions that I really liked and I really wanted to study was actually the dance class, I think it was called. It's this one painting that has a bunch of ballerinas in class, and there's a giant mirror in the very back-ish. And I really liked how it got that blue composition. No. Blue lighting, almost, yeah, I think. And if we're gonna be on that timeline, we might as well start talking about other paintings too. What else is there? Oh yeah, the Dance of Settlement, that was good. A good expression. Now that is something that I want to really try and work with. Let's see. Expressions, lighting, textures. Textures are a big one. I really hope I can get those down too. I feel like who knows? Maybe people have noticed already, but I really like painting textures. I think it's really, how do I put it? It's also really calming too. Just trying to get that idea of idea? No. Like trying to express if something's a bit on the shinier end or if something's on a bit more showing age too. That's something. I'm now realizing, oh, are you nervous? Are you worried about what you're going to be saying? I think that my anxiety has shot me through way too far now that I cannot think, so I'm going to go back to my roots of... I'm going to talk about what I like, and what I like is art. Maybe I should have, like, thought this out a bit more. Oh well. That really is the nature of a drawing stream, I guess. Maybe we should think about something else too. I am not liking how this is going. Shit. Okay. Let's see. I can also think about. Right. I've been thinking lately. I've been seeing a lot of eyeshadows that have been having a bit more of an iridescent look to them, especially if it's. What is it called? A liner, maybe? A pencil liner? I saw this one pencil liner that had... It changed colors in the light, basically, and had... It kind of reminded me of, like, a peacock feather, I think, is the best way to call it, yeah. It was... that shaded with... Oh, right! It was the most darling, like, it was this gray lipstick, almost. I wonder if we're changing a bit, like, because I feel like there's been a bit of a switch lately from, a focus on mattes to a bit more of a focus on gloss, maybe? Oh, thank you. I'm gonna be real with you. I have no idea how I color my paintings. It's really just, let's fuck around and find out. We'll figure it out as we go. It'll be fine. And the best part is, if you screw up, you have layers, so you can just, there we go. It never existed to begin with. I guess talking about my own art was probably what would be a good start to all this. I feel like I've just been meandering about, like, talking about things that I like, but... let's see. My own process. Process. How did I get to this? Let's see. We started with inks, charcoals, and then we went to watercolors, and then we got to acrylics, and we even got to oil painting too, and digital was just kind of scattered around in there somewhere too. It really is, honestly. Just wing it, figure it out as you go, and who knows, maybe you'll have something you like. Let's see. Control V is your best friend, but also at the same time... I'm gonna be real, the amount of times that I've actually gotten to the middle of a piece, and I realize, like, oh hey, that last quote-unquote mistake that I made was actually not that bad. I actually kind of liked it when it was like that. Oh, right, something that I can teach you is probably that if you work with a program like Clip Studio Paint, and it has a feature that lets you record a time-lapse as you work, I really recommend it. Not just because it's always good to document your own work, it really is, but also at the same time, if you have a recording of a part, if you're stuck in some part of your illustration, you can always look at your recording, and in your recording you can you can figure out, like, what part you actually kind of vibed with, and if you're lucky, and you didn't delete it a little too far away, then you can go back and you can just, you know, start again. The amount of times that I've had sketches that I was at the moment thinking, oh, this is terrible, and then went back and I was like, oh, hey, this actually is the best one out of the entire batch. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna keep going with this. Listen. I'm not a stranger to the 5-hour video essays. I'm really not. I personally have, how do I put it? I like to listen to a lot of video essays on video games, that's for sure. But also, obviously, I watch a lot of streamers too. Something that you're gonna learn about me today is that I am somebody who is... I unfortunately have the social battery of a potato, so I don't really know how to explain it, but I get so drained watching live streams. I will come out of a live stream, and then I will think, okay, I'm exhausted. I feel like I just went out and I talked to 500 people. I'm gonna not talk to anybody, and I'm just going to lie in bed, and I'm gonna be a cocoon for the rest of the month. Thank you. sure why. A little part of me is kind of like, not sad, but a little part of me wonders. Oh. Shit. Yeah. That's fun. That's fun. Oh well. Oh well, oh well, oh well, well. What was I talking about? Oh, right. Ironically enough, actually, when I watch streamers that are collabing in big groups, sometimes I'll leave stream like halfway because I get overwhelmed. I'll be in the middle of it and I'll be like, oh wow, this is so fun. Why do I feel like my social battery is dead? The book does sound good right now. You know what, now that I think about it, I really have a lot of chapters I have to catch up on. There's a lot of Yuri out there that I have to catch up on. Because, unfortunately, I have been a little too preoccupied with life that I completely forgot. Oh hey, all these series that I really, really love, it looks like they've updated. I want nobody to talk to me anymore because I'm going to catch up on all of them. Man, I have to see if She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat if there's a new chapter for that, yeah. I also have to read Medalist. I also have to catch up on... Has 𝐒𝐫𝐚𝐰𝐢𝐧𝐠 updated yet? Maybe. Let's see. Blue Period, right. I have to also catch up on Blue Period too. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, right. I have to also catch up on Smoking at the Back of the Supermarket with You. That one's a good one. Let's see. Right. Veil, too. Veil. I have to catch up on that, too. God, there's so much I have to catch up on. I've been too preoccupied with Uma Musume and Gachiakuta, yeah. I keep getting both of those confused, Gachiakuta and 𝐒𝐫𝐚𝐰𝐢𝐧𝐠. What was it again? Right. Look what it was. Ah, right. I wanted to catch up on, yeah, that was it. I wanted to do a rerun of a bunch of movies that I like too. Now that it's getting a bit darker and it's getting a bit more comfy, maybe something like that would be nice. Let's see. Movies. Kinda thinking. Kinda wanted to watch the Grand Budapest Hotel again. That one's a good one. Maybe The Shining, if we're gonna be on the same conversation of hotels. And let's see. Maybe there's a bit too pink. Let's go a bit more darker and a bit more on the orange side. Oh man, I've been seeing like an orange liner. No. It was actually there was this makeup artist that did an orange mascara look. Yeah. They had really light eyebrows and eyelashes too, and they found this one really, I guess, what would it be closer to? I guess like an orange you would find on a sherbet. that was the series that I was thinking about. Bless. I have to read Bless again. That was what it was. Love me a series that has a lot of... I need to get back on those series because I need to remember just how detailed one can get when using screen tones and black and whites. Actually, now I like how I've just been kind of saying all of these series and the like, kind of expecting you guys to just know them, but I really do. Yeah, you know what? I guess I can just take this radio show as a recommending you as well. Let's see, what else would I recommend? I guess this is more of just like my own personal favorites, yeah. Personal favorites. But anything by Kaoru Mori is a one way to get to, hey, do you have art block and you don't want to have art block and you want to be inspired enough to try something new, and or just you have a love for very, very, very detailed panel work and also a very fine eye for clothing, I 100% have to recommend Kaoru Mori's work. I see we have somebody with class. The Grand Budapest Hotel. Really, a Wes Anderson film in general is really my favorite. I feel like I've really fallen in love with I've really fallen in love with Wes Anderson movies just because they have such a good... They have a good understanding of blue, I think. Yeah, dark blue especially. Fantastic Mr. Yeah! Absolutely! Like, how do I put it? One of the things that I remember the most from Fantastic Mr. Fox has to be the scene where Ash has his toy train set, and we have the transition from his toy trains to the outside where his actual trains are, the actual trains are running. And the sky in that one scene was just impeccable. Man, was it good. Especially with... They have such a good understanding of yellows. And if you have a good understanding of your complementary colors, then... Surprisingly enough, the color that... Now that I think about it, I wonder if the color designer for that scene specifically wanted the audience to be more focused on the blues of the sky or the yellow from the lights of the train, maybe. But then again, I just... Fantastic Mr. Fox really is just, like, my favorite. It really is. Like, I just really like their use of primary colors, basically, yeah. God, I'm such a nerd for colors. I am never gonna beat those publications. I'm really not. For somebody who notoriously works a lot in monochrome, it makes me so sad sometimes that the children, they yearn for the technicolor, they yearn for the complementary colors, they want... I really need to work with reds and yellows and greens. I miss my warm colors, man. It's been so long. I am, as much as I love using blue, and I am using it right now as well, I miss using an orange and a yellow and a green color palette. I really, really do. But that all of these things that I work with are constantly all blue. I look at all my work in progress files. What is wrong with you? Why are you blue? I really should. Oh, okay, right. That was one of the things I want to talk about. One of the first things that they teach you about color theory. Maybe in just learning, how do I put it? Not colors theory, but first learning about colors is they tell you the theory that anything, even if it's an apple, can be turned blue, right? And of course I'm pulling from blue period for this. Of course I am. The nerd that I am, of course I am. Anyways. You're not being well versed, but I see it as how it's colors in the film complements each character and works well. Complementary colors. Dude, film is really insane, isn't it? Because... Oh. There we go. Tonight is a night of a lot of technical failures, oh well. It looks like we have a film nerd here, huh? Love to see it. Do you guys have movies that you really like? And comfort movies, I guess? Oh, right. Another comfort movie I have to think about. Probably has to be Loving Vincent. That one's a good one. Maybe. Maybe I should start thinking about a list that I can compile. Good movies. I have one on the back of my tongue right now. What is it? What was it again? Maybe we can even start talking about, like, I love my silly little Umas. I love Uma Musume. Time to rewatch the New Era movie once more for the up-teens time. Love Agnes Takion. Love to see her. Man, I'm surprised by how much steam Uma Musume got in the past year. That was insane. Somebody who says that you're not very well versed in movies, you have quite the opinions, don't you? If you want to figure out whether somebody actually is passionate about something, my list. If you want to figure out if somebody's passionate about something or not, ask them a question about just, how do you feel about this? And if they give you an answer that's more than, oh yeah, I think it's good, they're a nerd. They're a nerd. They love that thing. There's a reason that they gave you a compare and contrast thesis, answer to your response. Freedom Riders? Huh. Actually, I haven't got the chance to watch that one before. Freedom Riders. You know what? As much as I've been talking about how much I love movies and how they've been able to get all of these amazing compositions and colors and just the theory of it all, or just how they've been made throughout all these years, I haven't watched that movie, honestly. I'm a very simple person in the way that the second I find something that I like, I will just go, oh, I really like this thing. I am now going to proceed to watch this for the next 8 years, and only this. I am going to watch this so many times that once I get bored and I have to just go on airplane mode, I will just immediately start playing the entire movie in my head. I remember, when I was in school, we would have these really, really boring classes in, what was it again? I don't think it was history. Was it? Maybe. No. What class was it again? I remember that we had to remember a lot for it, but I can't remember what. Ironically enough, the person that's talking about a class where you have to remember a lot of things cannot remember what they're remembering right now. But I remember just sitting in class and not paying attention at all and just reciting the entire Coraline movie in my head. I really should start thinking about... I remember when I first started out and I used to draw such detailed irises. And now we are here, where the iris is quite literally blown out iris and tiny little people. And I like it that way now. It's really the best, just because it... Maybe it's because I've been working with so many, what was it again? Maybe it's because I've been working with so much black and white lately, that's why. Because if you work in black and white, you have to work with as much contrast as you can. And if you're working with contrast, especially in the eyes, that are probably going to be the most expressive part of your project, going for something simple might just be the way to go, honestly. Yeah. There we go. Okay, now I can play around with this. Now this is much, much better. Man, I love monolids, man. I love how I'm bringing up monolids, but I'm drawing... This is pretty close to double eyelids, yeah, I'd say that. But I think that the best part of monolids, especially in makeup, probably, in makeup, and also in character design as well, is that you can have a really strong emphasis on... Shoot, what's it called again? What am I thinking about? Right. You can have a good emphasis on the eyelid, and not only that, you can play around with... I'm getting distracted. What was I... Right. Right. That was... I'm starting to remember now. I'm remembering now. I'm remembering. Yeah. It was Halloweenish last year, 2 years ago, maybe? I remembered seeing a trend where people were they were utilizing the top of their monolid and the bottom of their eyelid to get a heart, especially if you had darker brown to black pupils, and you drew like the top of the cupid of a heart and the bottom of a heart. Then when you opened your when you opened your eyes, you got a perfect heart. Maybe it's optical illusions. That's what I was trying to say. Maybe that's what it was. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? There's really no rhyme or reason to what I'm saying, is there? But, I don't know. If somebody might find it interesting. Maybe they just wanted a voice, and I'll take that. Let's see. Let's see, let's see, let's see. What else is something that I've been thinking about here? Maybe I'm just thinking about eye makeup all the time right now because I'm looking at... well... oh wow, person thinks about eyes while they're drawing eyes? Yeah, that's so... I would have never expected. Well, yeah. Let me have my fun, buddy. Let me just doodle and let me just render, and we'll see where we go from there. Right. Let's see. I wonder how long it took for people to recognize that the Mona Lisa had no eyebrows. Like when it was initially painted, I mean. Because a lot of people kind of forget about the fact that the Mona Lisa had no eyebrows. And it takes a bit for people to... actually, no, not recognize. I feel like... yeah, I feel like I remember a history class where a teacher of mine mentioned that the Mona Lisa had no eyebrows, and everybody was like, no way, no she does, and then we all went on Google and checked, and she didn't have any, and we were like, what? She doesn't have... when did she not have eyebrows? She always had eyebrows, didn't she? I guess that's what they call the Mandela effect, huh? Are eyebrows that noticeable in people? Well, probably. Especially if you show your forehead. Maybe. I've been seeing a lot of people experimenting with different ways to style their eyebrows, so that was interesting. Especially with piercings. Piercings, my beloved. Love to see it. I've been thinking, I kinda wanna get another piercing. Maybe as like a New Year's present, who knows? Or maybe if I complete a goal or something, I can have it as like a little carrot on a stick and be like, oh hey, hey buddy, if you try this new thing that you really don't want to do, and if you get enough money you can get a new piercing, and I'll go, wow, what an idea, and then I'll proceed not to do it because I don't want to do it. It really is hard to like convince yourself to do things that you don't want to do, but having a little reward like that is always helping. I wonder what the most forgettable feature of a human's face is, because people look at people's eyes a lot. So, especially for when people are filing police case reports as well, right? And they're trying to, like, explain what a culprit looked like. So they'll be like, oh yeah, they wore a black hoodie, blah, 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 blah. They had hair that was, like, that was shoulder length, let's say. Who knows? But I wonder what a feature that is mostly forgotten is. I guess, like, I can't imagine eyes being it, just because it's so drilled into us as people that we should make eye contact when we talk to people, but then again, I'm not one to talk, really. It's... I don't get nervous, but it feels like kind of a stare-off of, I'm not uncomfortable, but are you uncomfortable with me just perceiving you like this? Are you fine with this? Maybe. Well, eyebrows probably aren't the most important thing that our brain just goes, oh yeah, that thing. And I love a good reflective texture. I think. Yeah, that's what I was missing. I missed working with like this shade of turquoise. That was what I was missing. It's pretty messy right now. Maybe I should work on. Yeah, maybe making these bottom eyelashes just a tad bit, just a wee bit darker would help. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that'll do. Those are also probably the second? Maybe not the second, but one of the most noticeable things, or the things that we remember most about people, just because of how much of a statement it makes. Wonder. Let's see. I wonder how much color has to say about a person's, like, color choice and fashion especially does say quite a bit about a person. Oh, right, you know what? I've been noticing a lot of cherry red, I think. How do I put it? It's kind of like around, like, what if I just put in here, but yeah. It's around this kind of shade. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the right move. We love experimenting. This is how we find new things that we were never expecting. Man, I love this shade. It's great. Right. I was mentioning, the reason why I feel like I've been seeing that shade a lot has been because, would it be considered a trend? An uprising. Maybe. But I've been seeing these really cute stilettos. They're more like short heels. Probably kitten pumps? Kitten heels? Yeah, kitten heels. But they have a stiletto-esque heel and a pointed, what's it called? A pointed nose? No. They had a name for it. What was it again? Tip of the shoe. It's been a low heel, but it had a stiletto-esque design, and it had this glossy texture on top of it as well. And I've been seeing a lot of people styling them with jeans and dress pants, especially, yeah, dress pants. Probably, right, there was that one model too. There was a designer that had they designed a blazer that had a heart-shaped lapel, and yeah, it was an oversized blazer. They paired it with, I believe, red shorts of the same color, and the heels were those heels that I was just mentioning right now. And they put the model in these really nice white lace stockings. And they even had the background like match the red of the blazer. And that was a good photo shoot. Having a primary color is really important, isn't it? Looking forward to the snow, though. I think that we're going to be getting some soon, too. Well, we technically have it now, but it's going to be a bit on the stronger end soon, I believe, so I wonder if it'll get stronger. Not stronger, but if it'll be a bit tedious? No, not tedious. Wonder. Maybe. I wonder if it'll freeze more this year. One of my favorite parts about snow, though, is technically you know what? We can take this as an opportunity, as a very long-winded introduction that should have happened a lot earlier. But I guess I can tell you the origin of, like, why I decided to go with I Said Boo as a name, as like an illustrator name, I guess. It was because, actually, it was a reference to snow. Because I 100% could have started with saying, oh god. Say, ugh. My lisp really is getting worse by the years, oh well. But in Korean, the same way that you say snow, and the same way that you say I, are both the same, and it's pronounced nun. And I kind of wanted a reference to snow in some degree, at least in my name, so. But also at the same time, I wanted to keep that little bit of a spooky theme, I think, maybe, is the best way to put it. So, I was a little bit of a nod to myself of, oh yeah, you get to have your spooky scene, but also at the same time, it's a little Easter egg just for you, where they don't know that you're not referencing an eyeball, you're actually referencing snow right now. I think that probably my favorite part about snow is that because of how it reflects the sky that's usually like pitch black at night, it ends up becoming this almost gray, even if it's at like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. time, it'll just be really light outside? Maybe. Maybe. And I kind of... You can't go long without making the journey a bit fun for yourself too, right? It's always nice to have a little bit of a secret just for you. Well, it's not really a secret now, but we'll see. There's a lot of reasons I like snow, but that's probably one of the bigger ones. I like how at night it's able to reflect the sky into this really nice gray. Especially when streetlights. Yeah. Especially when you're walking in the snow at night and the sky is like this really nice gray. And the snowflakes get caught on the streetlights. Maybe it's all just circling back to my little fascination of colors, because I think that gray goes really well with like the yellow of streetlights. Also, I'm now starting to realize I don't think I explained that well. Oh well. Some people will get it, others won't. We'll take what we can get. Let's see. Right, if you're somebody who really likes working with their liner, but feels like it's a bit off, a blending mode that I can really suggest is probably overlay. Nice to see that somebody else can see the appeal of a nice snow. I'm looking forward to it. This black is a bit too blue. Okay. Maybe. Don't you love color theory? It's still technically the same black, but if you use the color picker, it's actually a red. Wow, imagine. Art is oh so whimsical. No, I kind of want to try doing a color study soon. Maybe just a texture study, too. That would be fun. I've been thinking. I kind of want to... How are you spending your evening? Me, I'm reading a book. Me, I'm watching Netflix. B, I'm playing with my dog. C, I'm gonna render a whole entire set of fantasy armor with realistic rendering of silver. And nobody's gonna stop me because I like my silver little details, and I like my silly little rendering a little bit too much. You know what? A bit ago, I learned Blender a bit ago, and I've been trying to convince myself to try and learn it a bit more. Maybe make some assets and the like that I could use for an illustration. So I'm trying to realize, why are my eyes constantly closing? Maybe I should pull this down a bit more. There we go. Link sensitivity. There we go. Right, blender, that was what I was talking about. I've been thinking that I went through the whole ordeal of the stupid donut tutorial. I hope you know, I fought tooth and nail to make that one donut, and even at the end of it, I was like, I don't like this. I really, really don't like this. I don't think that 3D was in the cards for me, ever, unfortunately. As much as I would love for it to be in the cards, because I feel like it's a really important asset that people should take the time to learn, even if you don't want to work in 3D. If you're just doing 2D too, 3D is actually a really good asset that you can utilize. And I've been trying to convince myself to open it again after finishing the donut tutorial, but I cannot do it because I hate Blender so much. It's not that... I hate Blender in the same way that somebody hates doing homework, because you know it's important, you know you gotta do it, and you know you gotta eventually do it, but also at the same time you don't want to do it because it's no fun. It's really no fun, at least for me right now. I feel like maybe once I start getting just the gist of how to get around to using it, maybe then we'll get to figure things out. As a bit of a carrot on the string method, I've been trying to convince myself to open Blender again by being like, hey, if you open Blender and you try to make something, then you can make an Elden Ring inspired giant hammer with a lot of engravings and a lot of detail if you do that. I feel like rendering... sculpting. Yeah, sculpting in Blender sounds really interesting, but everything else with nodes, that... not my cup of tea, unfortunately. It's looking okay. Also, fun thing about designing this character, I'm gonna be real with you, I don't think it matches my personality, my voice, or my character that well. It really, I think that there's a lot of things about this design that are a bit off from who I am, personally. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe it's a calling from the void or something, from the ether, something that I never expected, maybe, perhaps. But I hope that people know that this is not... I designed this character with the intention of, hey, the rule of cool, I'm going to design something that makes me happy because it is just an amalgamation of all the aesthetics that I like. And less so a representation of what kind of person I am. So every time that I have to draw this character, it is just me being like, yay! I get to draw something that is an aesthetic that caters to me and me personally. Maybe I'm staying too much in my own wheelhouse. Maybe I should try and... maybe I should do my best to try and branch out a bit more. Work in aesthetics that I haven't tried for a while. I remember in, let's see, 2018? 16-ish? Around then? No, 16 is way too far, I think. Around 2017. No, not 17, 18. Yeah, 18 sounds like a safe ballpark. Around then, I was actually really into steampunk and into, why is it escaping me now? What was it called again? cyberpunk. How was that excuse? Oh well. At the time I was really interested in that, so I drew a lot of that at the time. I had a whole phase of just drawing and designing, like, steampunk-inspired, rifles, actually. I had a phase of just drawing a bunch of steampunk and cyberpunk-inspired rifles. I think it did me good, especially because now I just really enjoy designing props, I guess, is the best way to put it. I love me a good prop design. Pronunciation. Pronunciation. We'll get there when we get there. What else did I like? Around that time I also really liked Zentangle as well. I think that designing just with a bunch of little details was gonna be in my veins no matter what. Actually, it has been a hot second. I feel like I should design a few. I want to design more props. I feel like that'd be fun. It'd be a good exercise too. Like, rifles were definitely fun. But I also kind of want to see if I can design... maybe like a fantasy... or a game health pack. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Oh. I'd like to design a... Right, actually, that was what I was thinking of. I saw a bit ago, somebody posted a live 2D work in progress of a blood bag, but it had these really good physics to it, and I was thinking after that, I was like, what if we had, like, a steampunk-esque engine, but it wasn't, fueled by... It wasn't fueled by steam, it was fueled by a liquid of some sort instead. And I thought that if you had an engine that worked like that, would it be more appropriate to use a blood bag looking carrier? Maybe? Something like that? That might be more interesting. I just love designing little trinkets, little somethings. I guess I also want to design... I would love to design some earrings too. Maybe that'll be like the little carrot on the stick I need to finally open Blender. If you open Blender and you try and sculpt something, you get to make a pair of pearl drop earrings. There we go. That'll convince you. Go on, try and experiment and work in a program or go out of your comfort zone by luring yourself in by saying, yeah, you can relish in one of your hyper little interests by opening this program. You're not gonna like it, but you'll also have, like, the little benefit of the doubt of being able to say, oh yeah, you get to at least look at something that you like while you're working on it. I guess that's why passion projects are always so... They have, like, a different vibe to them. Maybe. Movement is movement is, personally for me, a good grasp of movement is probably how you portray fabric. Especially, I remember seeing a character demo, was it? Or it was sort of like a physics reel, almost, of somebody got a Silent Hill, like, they got their hands on the Silent Hill. No, it was Silent Hill 2, yeah. They got James's model, and then they put different physics on it, and made his coat move a lot more realistically in a space. I remember that. That was good. Especially when you think about how rigid his coat is, because it's probably made of something like a sportswear, maybe? No, probably not. Not jean. Maybe something similar to cargo. Having a bit more of rigidness to it, but still letting it flow properly, especially when you're running like that. Now we can get to the point that we love to see, is when you get to a certain point in your piece and you want to check whether you're doing good or not, you can just turn rendering on and off and see how much progress you've made. I'd say that's a pretty good amount of progress for the amount of time that we've had on this. Sort of brain off, just render and we'll see where this goes sort of deal. Let's see. I feel like orange is probably the first color that comes to mind when you complement it with blue. Too late. The neighboring colors are pretty good too. Let's see. There we go. That should do it. I've been thinking, how do people, when they cut their own hair, how do they cut the back of their hair? Especially if it's short hair. Because I've seen people with longer hair, they'll tie up the end and then just snip it. But when it's so close to the scalp and you can't really look around, and you only have your mirror and maybe a camera, how do you do that? Because I've been thinking that my hair could use a bit of a trim, but also at the same time, I kind of want to see how well it would go if I did it myself. Cameras probably really are the best way to go about it, though. Cameras, or maybe just calling a friend over and being like, please help me, I swear to God, if you help me, if you help me out with this, I will buy you dinner, I will buy you lunch, I don't care what it takes, just it's kind of like, do you trust this person enough to cut your hair? And if you're just gonna get somebody else to cut your own hair for you, then just go to the salon. It really is, at the end of the day, just hopes and dreams, ain't it? Just, please, please, for the love of God, please. And then, the worst thing about a haircut is that sometimes you'll get the haircut and then you'll look at it on the day of and you'll be like, oh wow, this looks really nice, I'm really happy with this. And then you'll wake up the next day and you'll be like, what happened? Like, this is the same hair that I cut yesterday, right? Like, I think that the only way you can figure out whether you got a good haircut or not is you wait for it for a week. You have to wait for it for a week, and if it still looks bad, then you're kind of screwed. And if it looks a bit better, then hey, you might have won something. You might have found your dream hairdresser. Who knows? Personally, for me, I have one hairdresser that I've gone to since I was... How old was I then? Probably around... 8? 8, 9? No. That's way too early. Probably 10-ish. 10-ish, yeah. It's been a few years. But I met her. She's very nice. She's like an auntie to me, and every time that we see each other at like a supermarket or something, I go, hi! And she's like, oh, you want to get your hair cut again? And I'm like, do I have the wallet for that right now? Would love to, but we'll see. But also at the same time, I've been thinking that I've liked experimenting with growing it out a bit too. I think the flexibility, I guess, maybe? The flexibility of being able to play around with braiding it and adding a few more hair ties to it is always fun when it grows a bit more than... What's a good length to call it? Like, a bit longer than your... If it hits the bottom of the nape of your neck, around then sounds good. I'm not realizing this kind of looks like blue pen ink. I'm not the most opposed to it, but maybe something a bit more on the desaturated end wouldn't hurt. I actually remember in class one time for art school, one of the most the most unforgettable assignments that I got was our professor gave us a pen, a big pen, and then was like, okay, here you go. And we kind of just looked at each other and we were like, what do you want? What do you want us to do with this? And they were like, I don't care what you draw, just by next class, I want you to bring back this same pen that I gave you, and it has to be empty by the time that you are back. And we all kind of looked at each other and we were like, you expect us to empty this entire pen in, was it a week? No, like it was 3 days almost, I think. 3 to 5 days almost. Because it was a class that happened bi-weekly, and they gave us a giant sheet of paper that was probably arm's length, yeah. That is true. guess a pillow really does change it a lot. Weather too. And also, especially if you have a certain hair type that, like, if you have a curly, hair type, especially the kind that, like, bends easily. Because I know friends who have extremely straight hair. And my hair is the type that is like, oh hey, you put it up in a ponytail? Okay, now you're just gonna have a notch in your hair for the rest of the day until you take a shower. Good luck. There we go. Yeah, I just have to worry about that and make it a bit more monochrome. I honestly could, I could just go in and go with a, this is why you should learn about your blending modes, kids. If you have a section or a portion of your drawing that has a bit too much pigment, you can use a hue blending mode and go into it with a black, and you'll get, and I'll do it. And you'll get the color that you were looking for. Maybe I should go with that too. There we go. Thank you. It's always fun to play around with rendering. Especially if you take the time to experiment with blending modes, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry, like, I got sidetracked too, wow. They gave us an assignment where they gave us a giant piece of paper that, was around 3 feet in widths, maybe? 3 feet in widths, I believe, yeah. It was 3 feet in widths, and in height it was around maybe 3 feet in 3 feet in widths and 1.5 in feet? No, in height. No, that doesn't feel right either. It feels like it was a lot bigger than that. But either way, they gave us this giant piece of paper, they gave us one big pen, and they were like, okay, come back to class in 3 to 5 days, and this better be empty or else you fail this one assignment. And this assignment also took up a large percentage of our grade, so everybody got very, very creative on this. I remember one of my classmates actually got a drill, and they taped the end of the big pen. They taped the big pen to the end of the drill, and they just went to town with it on that paper. And I can't remember what they drew with it, but it's got a really interesting texture with it. For my assignment, I remember I rendered an illustration that had a lot of hair. Because I thought that if we work with a model that has a lot of hair, that means that I can just go in and I'm not gonna have to worry about lighting or shading. I'm just gonna have to worry about moving my pen back and forth, and then eventually we'll lose all of the ink. And if I'm very desperate at the end of the assignment, I will just crack the pen open, and I will just I will go at it with a paintbrush if I have to. Luckily enough, I did finish the assignment, just barely, but as much as a nightmare of a assignment that was, it was still a really important assignment, I think, because we got to learn how much, like, how much emphasis, I guess, like, person's hand has in drawing something. Sort of like, what's that one saying called? When you have a homemade meal and people say, like, we have a Korean term for it. It's called, like, 손맛. And it basically means that if you eat food from somebody that made it for you with their hands, and you'll be able to taste it differently no matter who you're eating from. Because I guess the closest thing in English would be like like a home recipe almost, because you could work with the same ingredients, you could work with the same same ingredients basically, but as long as somebody's making it, you're probably gonna have something different at the end of the day. I don't think I explained that one. But I feel like after that assignment, I was able to really appreciate rendering things by hand a lot more, rather than relying on textures and, like, fill brushes as well. I think, after that assignment was around the time when I started I made the very not good for my hand and not good for my future carpal tunnel decision that I am no longer going to just fill in hair using a black bucket tool. I am going to render each and every strand now, because it just looks better. I don't know how to explain it, but like it does the same job, but it looks better to me. I'm not really sure why. Texture is real important for that reason. I should render like fish scales. It's been a while since I've done fish. Fish always have. It's really interesting to imagine just like the amount of natural colors that we have in wildlife. Like, I want you to look at any tropical fish and tell me that it's not a little insane that we just have that in the wild. And you're telling me you survived for centuries looking that colorful, and you weren't gobbled up right away because you're like a walking traffic cone? Yeah, I have to admit, that really is the best part, isn't it? I feel like, I wonder if people have been able to tell, like, have you seen those videos of robots that have been making lattes at, like, train stations? I've always wondered, like, if people walk away from that experience and just go, this is the most mid coffee I've ever had. Or if they're just too enamored by, like, the process of making it. Who knows? Who knows? I think the imperfection, an accident, or I guess this is just on my mind because I also wrote it in the stream rules, but like a blunder makes way for a very good opportunity, because you weren't looking for it, but sometimes it just kind of finds you, and if you're curious enough, maybe you'll find something that you weren't expecting, and maybe you'll have fun with it. Yeah, I think that's good for today. Okay. I think that this was a good experiment. Who knows? Maybe if I'm feeling up to it, then I'll stream again something like this. Thank you very much for taking the time in your day to stream in. No, not stream in, tune in. And for, how do I put it, like, keeping up with my shenanigans of constantly talking nonsense and just hoping that it'll make sense to somebody. So, for today, I think, oof, Jesus, I think this is a good place to end things off. Alright, now that I know what to keep an eye on for next time, I think that next time around we'll be able to have a bit more of a proper stream where I'm not just talking my head off with whatever comes to mind first. Okay. Bye-bye. 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 Get home safe. Bye. Bye-bye.